Hi, Dale Irvin here. And as the professional summarizer, it is my duty to keep you up to date with the important news of the moment. So for the next few days, I will monitor the Republican National Convention and report back to you from a slightly twisted point of view. Last night, I watched the convention flipping between CNN, PBS, and when they joined in, the three major networks. And here is my report of what I saw. Everything kicked off at 4 p.m. The convention began with people wearing incredibly goofy hats officially nominating Mitt Romney for president by roll call vote. Next, the candidates nominated Paul Ryan for vice president, but rather than go through another roll call, they all just had a show of hands to save time. Then everybody went to dinner because it was Goofy Hat Night at Denny's. At 7 p.m., while the delegates were at dinner, Tropical Storm Isaac was upgraded to a full-fledged hurricane, the news of which caused many of them to give their hats an extra tug. At 7:15, back at Convention Central, the 200-year-old Oak Ridge Boys sang a rousing rendition of Amazing Grace. Wasn't completely in tune, but it was very, very rousing. Next, the governor of Ohio, John Kasich, took the stage. He told the crowd how he turned the economy of Ohio around. He took them from 44th in production to 4th. He lowered the taxes in Ohio and brought back prosperity. My question is, why didn't the Republicans pick this guy to run for president? If he's got the answers, he should get the gig, but that would take common sense. And speaking of common sense, what part of sending a reporter out in the face of a hurricane to tell us that it's wet and windy out there makes any sense? I almost felt sorry for Anderson Cooper, who was now completely soaked. Almost, not really. At 7:30 p.m., Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, who won his recall election, by the way, he was the next speaker, and the audience welcomed him on stage with cheers of "Neener, neener, neener" in full support. Rick Santorum was the next speaker, said if you get an education, work hard, and get married before you have children, you may be a Republican. At 7:55, while the convention continued, Anderson Cooper was transforming into a human sponge. Water pounded him while he was standing in the middle of Hurricane Isaac, and at one point, he actually had to be wrung out by two large stagehands. At 8 o'clock, Arthur Davis was the next speaker. He spoke 4 years ago at the Democratic Convention when he was an Obama supporter. But after he realized what he had done, he became a Republican. He talked about his buyer's remorse and how Obama's hope and change had turned into smoke and mange, or words to that effect. I just made it rhyme. At 8:30, Nikki Haley, the governor of South Carolina, was the next speaker. She said that South Carolina is about to become the #1 tire-producing state in the union. That ought to do a lot for tourism. Come to the tire factory, visit our amusement park, over 3,000 swings. At 9:05 p.m., the warm-up acts were over and the real show started with Ann Romney when she took stage. And the first thing that she did was inform the audience that Hurricane Isaac had made landfall and was currently turning Anderson Cooper into a prune. In her speech, Ann came out in favor of both love and mothers. Two pretty controversial topics, if you ask me. It's kind of like coming out in favor of breathing and eating. She said she fell in love with Mitt Romney because he made her laugh. Well, Mitt, if you want our votes, why don't you make us laugh too? Here's a joke you can start with. Two guys walked into a bar that they built themselves, huh? Ann also promised us in referring to Mitt that, and I quote, "This man will not fail," end quote. Sounds to me like when Joe Namath guaranteed a victory in Super Bowl III. It's a sure thing. Then Mitt popped out from backstage. They kissed. Everybody clapped, including all 5 of their sons, known as the Mittens. At 9:25, Chris Christie was the keynote speaker for the night. He did not disappoint. He said he is the son of an Irish father and a Sicilian mother. So he has both the gift of gab and the ability to make you listen to him if you know what's good for you. Then he told the audience how he brought New Jersey back from the brink of collapse with lower taxes, a balanced budget, and of course, help from Snooki. He also said that the Democrats are scaring our seniors, and from my own experience, folks, I can assure you it's never a good idea to scare a senior. Many times it leads to a laundry problem, if you get my drift. Finally, he asked everybody to stand up, which, speaking as a professional speaker, is a very cheesy way to get a standing ovation. That's my summary of day 1 at the RNC. More to come tomorrow. Be sure to check back and sign up for the Friday Funnies at daleirvin.com. See you tomorrow.